This is rock and roll.
I can't answer the phone right now. Leave me a message and I'll call you back.
I know she's out there, I know it's true. She's probably dancing and feeling good. She's probably drinking, she must be flirting. She's got me worried, and that's no good. This girl is hot, this girl is fine. This girl is tougher than the ones I left behind. This girl is wild, she's really loud. When the party starts, you know she'll be around. No, not the city girl. Took a chance with the BX girl. No, not the city girl. Took a chance with the BX girl.
Ladies and gentlemen, from WVOX Radio, here he is, the host of This is Rock and Roll, Mr. Dennis Dion Nardone.
Yes, and welcome. Thank you, Mary, for that great introduction. I'll tell you, beautiful and gorgeous. Thank you, Mary. And I want to say welcome to another episode of This is Rock and Roll, the show that features the stars of the music world. And thank you to our producers, Vic Sabatini, and associate producers, Tyrone Burkle, Al Belfiore. And I got to tell you, they work so very hard behind the scenes. In fact, let's show a picture of the guys working so hard. All right, anyway, thank you guys for keeping up that hard work.
Yes,
and now our very special guest for tonight's show from the Bronx, New York. Let's welcome Mr. James Jimmy Fracassi. And I call you Slick Fingers.
Slick
Fracassi.
Fingers.
Welcome to This Rock and Roll.
Oh, thank you very much, Dennis.
And
good to be here.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Hope you brought your guitar.
Oh, yes, it's right there.
All right, great. You're from the Bronx.
I'm from the Bronx.
Where did you grow up? Where did you go to school? Tell us about it.
Okay, it was a long time ago. Yes, I was born at a very early age.
Yes.
So I went to 32 First, which was on Camberling Avenue and 183rd Street.
Now, which section of the Bronx is that?
Belmont.
Oh, okay.
Right around the corner. Dion was right around the corner. The Duprees were over there. Not the Duprees. Somebody was over there. Somebody else was over there. Oh, wait. That's better.
Okay, there you
It's
are.
daylight.
So Dion was right around the corner.
Yes.
Okay, Jimmy Fracassi, let me ask you this. When did you get so interested with the guitar, and why? Because you are a guitarist, one of the best that came out of the Bronx. Let's make sure we
That's
tell
very
everyone
nice of you to
about
say.
that. So when, how, what? What made you get interested?
It was a very musical area. You know, you had Dion. All of my friends played something. And I hooked up with Johnny Falbo, who was Dion's guitar player.
Oh,
He was
really?
in my class.
Oh, okay.
And these other two people, Fabio and Bruno. And we recorded, I was 15 when I recorded my first recording with Fabio and Bruno.
Really?
And we did the Clay Cole show in
Now, how old
Palisades
were you?
Amusement Park. I was 15.
Oh, okay.
Palisades Amusement Park.
Oh.
Matter
By
of-
the way,
Oh,
I want to give you one of our official This is Rock and Roll cups.
Oh, I would love
And
it.
Mary, do you have a cup for our guest? Mary, bring it. There you go.
Mary, thank you.
Thank you.
That's
Official. This is Rock and Roll cup.
Mother Fletcher's. Is that Mother Fletcher's?
Jimmy Fracassi, ladies and gentlemen. And all right, so you're 15 years old. You're a teen, playing in local bands, local clubs. You mentioned, and then you went on TV already. Clay Cole.
Clay Cole and Palisades Amusement Park.
Oh, what was the name of the bands you had back then in the teen?
Well,
what years are we talking about?
The 50s.
50s.
Yeah, the late
Okay.
50s.
All right, so what bands you playing rock and roll? You playing that early rock and roll, Chuck Berry stuff and all that thing?
Oh, yeah. Chuck Berry, all the guitar songs I was
Yeah.
playing, back then. There was a lot of guitar music.
Right, first generation of rock and roll,
Yeah.
as we call it on the radio.
Yeah.
And but before we get into that,
Yes.
you have a extensive background of rock and jazz. And before I mention the stars, you performed with you played a mandolin.
Yes.
And not just here in the States, you go abroad to play this mandolin and playing jazz and Irish music, is it?
Irish music.
Now, how did that
Italian
all
music.
start?
just from playing guitar, met
So
somebody.
you go
here,
to
met
you go to
somebody there.
Ireland, you go to Italy,
Go
do
to
a lot of
Ireland,
work.
go to Italy, go to France.
Yeah.
Yeah, wherever they have wine, I go.
How long you been playing the mandolin? Is it hard to play?
Not that long. Maybe 10 years.
Yeah, yeah.
It's-
Really? Oh, you kind of just.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
and once again, before we get to rock and roll, let's get back to the jazz. You play with some big time jazz people: Gene Krupa, Woody Herman.
While I was on the stage, I shared the stage with them.
Right. Well, you played with them, right? Glenn Miller Band, Dizzy Gillespie.
Yeah,
And,
that was down the Metropole.
Really?
The Metropole 48th
Now, how did that
Street
all
and 7.
happen?
Let's see now. Rock and roll was just coming in, and jazz was on the outs.
It was on the outs.
Yeah, it was
So we're
starting
talking
to
about
die
the
out.
50s.
61.
The rock and roll was
60
coming in.
Yeah, 61 is when I was downtown.
61.
Yeah.
19, so, yeah.
So-
So jazz was kind of.
Yeah.
Jazz clubs were fading out.
Right.
The rock and roll was coming.
So they had us in the afternoon and some nights upstairs. And then we met Woody Herman's band and all the jazz guys. Henry Red Allen, very nice guy.
Now
Gene
you also
Krupa.
played with, if I remember you telling me, you played with Bobby T back then as well.
Bobby T, yes.
From the Earls, the drummer.
He wasn't in the Earls yet.
No, oh, he wasn't in the Earls yet.
No.
Oh, so he has an extensive background in
Yeah.
jazz as well.
So we were playing.
And you guys are from the same neighborhood in the Bronx?
Yeah, he's from Arthur Avenue. I'm from like 4 or 5 blocks away. And I don't even know how we hooked up together.
Yeah.
Oh, his brother, Vic, was a drummer. And he was in my class. And we started playing together.
Right.
I started doing after-hour joints.
You play any other instruments besides the guitar and the mandolin?
Guitar, mandolin. Well, actually,
Let me ask you the silly question. Play the
Yes.
ukulele?
it's easy. I won't play it.
Yeah, yeah.
Actually, we went down to the Metropole, and I went there one afternoon, and Ronnie Speaks and the Elrods was playing, and the drummer was Dino Danelli
Really?
from the
Way back when? Then?
Yeah, he just came in. It was a
Of the
country-
Rascals, of
It was a
course.
country band,
Uh-huh.
and I walked there one day, and he wasn't there, and they said, "Jim, get up and play drums." What a chore that is.
Yeah.
I was playing. My arm was killing me. I was holding my arm. I was doing this, and I was just banging on the drum like
Right,
this.
right.
Drumming is not easy. You have to have like muscles.
Yeah.
So then Dino came in finally. Said, "Thank you, Dino." Yeah. He had big hair.
Yeah.
Twirled the sticks, and I knew he was going to make it.
Right.
He just had it.
Yeah.
You know.
He was a Jersey guy, right? I think.
Maybe I'm not sure. Yeah.
Anyway, my guest, Jimmy Fracassi, and all right, let's move forward a little.
Okay.
And of course, you play with all the stars, but the latest one was the Bronx Wanderers.
The Bronx Wanderers. Yes.
And for a few years.
Yes.
And travel with them, and it was the early stages of the Bronx Wanderers, and it started to get known. Well, how was that experience with Vinny and the kids?
Well, it was fabulous because we started working little Italian restaurants like Michael's up on Boston Road, here and there. And more and more people came in, got more and more popular.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, we're on the road.
You're on the road.
And the money went up, the gigs went up,
That always helps, right?
and we traveled all over the country.
All over the country,
Yeah.
right?
I
And,
never knew where I was.
Never knew where
No,
you
I
were.
would wake up and say, am I in Montana? Am I in Texas?
Yeah. I mean, you make a joke, but that's how fast the Bronx Wanderers exploded on the scene.
That's right, yeah.
And of course, we all know that they're in Vegas steady now.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to throw some names at you.
Yes.
Jimmy Fracassi, Dion,
Dion.
the Earls,
Dion DiMucci.
and the Regents,
And the
all from the
Regents,
Bronx.
yes.
You played with them all. Tell me about your experience playing with these guys.
Okay, so I was.
We're talking the 60s, 70s?
61. I was 17, and the local hustler in the group, in the neighborhood, comes up and says, "You want to play on a record?" I said, "This is great. Play on a record. We'll pay you $10." I said, $10 to play on a record? He goes, "But you have to kick 5 back to me." But I won't mention any names. I go up there, and it was Barbara Ann. So I tuned up. I brought the bass player from high school. I don't even remember his name, and I don't remember the drummer. I wish I knew. Tuned up to the piano, but my ear wasn't that good then.
Right.
Right. And we went right through. We did the track.
This is Barbara Ann.
Yeah, I made one mistake. They didn't hear it.
Oh, okay.
And I told them, I made a mistake. But in those days, if you made a mistake, you had to go back to the beginning. There was no punching in.
Right.
So they said, don't worry about it. You know. So the piano player came in the next day. He went, blunk. It was in no key. It was a little flat. So they wrote it in F sharp. It was in the key of G.
Yes.
But it was a little flat. So they sent the piano player home. The sax player, Tony Gravagna, came in and played that great solo. And next thing you know, it's in the top 10, and I'm saying, I got $5 for this.
Right,
You know?
right. You need
And,
more royalties than that.
Yeah, well.
All right, I'll tell you what. Go back to the Bronx Wanderers.
Bronx Wanderers.
Let's go to a video with you performing with the Bronx, Wanderers.
Wanderers. Oh,
Jimmy
you
Fracassi
have one.
with the Bronx Wanderers. Let's take a look.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made this vacation happen.
Double points with every purchase?
Cleverly merging promotions,
Love it.
cross-referencing travel sites, and booking all your flights with those.
Vouchers. I got us bumped.
They were like, oh, but now they're like, aloha. You aced this vacation. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason. Because it means love and devotion for one's country. Love. But what really makes up this country of ours? What is it we love? It's the people. Almost half the country belongs to minority groups. People who are lesbian, African American, and bi, and transgender, and Native American, and proud of it. After all, what's more American than freedom to celebrate the things that make us, us? This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, disability, sexuality, race, religion, and any other labels. Because the second any of us judge people based on those labels, we're not really being patriotic, are we? Because love has no labels.
Bye, Janet. It's nice seeing you again.
soon.
You look good, girl. Just let me know what I can do to help.
Well, to help me, she'd have to help every day. Every hour, every ouch, every time my wife calls for help. I mean, maybe she could help me make her lunch. But the crust, all the crust has to be cut off the corners. She could help me run to the doctor for the 5th time this week. Help me with the specialists and the second opinions and the painful paperwork about paperwork. Help me deal with how hard it is seeing my wife's name on so much paperwork. But this is on me. I'm the only one who can do this, like this, for her. Besides,
Take care.
we will. Janet doesn't like her cooking anyway.
Find support for your strength. Visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
Okay, we are back. My name is Dennis Dion Nardone, and my guest today, Jimmy Fracassi. Name of the show, This is Rock and Roll, and Jimmy, a couple of videos there. And of course, you play with the big stars, Dion, the Earls, the Regents. We just mentioned the Regents.
Yes.
And you played Barbara Ann. Did you do any recording with the Earls?
With the Earls, yes. We did the album, which was fabulous. Remember Me Baby album. And then we just kept recording. We must have recorded 30, 40 songs.
And did you record on Remember Then?
Remember Then, yes.
Okay. Jimmy Fracassi from the Bronx, New York, played with all the stars. All right, Jimmy, let me throw some names at you.
Yes.
And some stars that you have performed with. You ready for this?
Yes, I am.
The Drifters.
The Drifters.
Little Anthony and the Imperials. The
Wonderful.
Four Tops.
Great.
Chuck Berry.
Chuck Berry.
Bo Diddley. Chubby Checker.
Oh, Chubby Checker a few
Screaming
times.
Jay Hawkins. Jay and the Americans.
Yes.
Clarence Frogman Henry.
Way back.
Dovell's Bristol Stomp. Len Berry, the 1, 2, 3 song.
Yeah, that's right.
And those are great stars, man. And Percy Faith.
The Cookies, the Shangri-Las.
But Percy Faith, There's a Summer Place.
Yeah,
Great song.
ding.
Shirelles.
The Shirelles.
Play with the
yes.
Shirelles.
Yes.
Jive 5, I'm a happy
Jive 5,
man.
that's
Yes.
right. I was very happy
Chiffons
doing that.
from the Bronx.
That's right.
Right? From
Yeah.
the Bronx, New York. Flamingos, I Only Have Eyes for You.
Love them. Great.
Perform with them as well. J.J. Jackson, But It's All Right.
Ah, yes.
Patti LaBelle.
Oh, to me, that was the best. Patti LaBelle and the Bluebells.
Yeah. Oh,
Fabulous.
okay. And my girl Barbara Harris and the Toys.
Yes.
Wow, what a list of performers you perform with. And I'll tell you what, let's go to another video of you performing. Jimmy Fracassi
Yes.
from the Bronx. Let's go to another video. Let's take a look at another video here on This Is Rock and Roll. All right, we are back, and my name is Dennis Dion Nardone, and the show is This Is Rock and Roll. Our guest, Mr. James Jimmy Fracassi. Jimmy, the video, Johnny Be Good.
Johnny Be Good.
You and Vic wailing on the guitars, answering each other. That's great stuff, man. Great stuff. And of course, I had a local high school fundraiser that we were doing. And how did it feel when you're going back and forth with the guitar, especially with our producer, Vic Sabatini?
Vic, just like, he just smokes on that guitar.
Yeah.
And then he smokes cigarettes too sometimes.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I tell him not
Well,
to
let me
do
ask you
that.
this, Jimmy. And do you have any personal recordings, a website, phone number, if anybody wants to hear some of your stuff? I know one time you had a Christmas album you brought to the radio station. Do you have anything?
Well,
Maybe they want to hire you for Irish music, Italian music, rock and roll.
I play
How did they get in
anything.
touch with you?
They call you up because you're my manager.
I'm your manager.
Yes,
You're
that's
right.
right.
Okay, call me up, and if you want Jimmy for Irish, Italian, teach you about wine, go on a trip to Italy,
Whatever you
rock
want.
and roll,
Yes.
call me up, and I'll hook you up with Jimmy Fracassi. And so once again, besides all that, if you left here right now, where would you be sitting in Italy? Because you love Italy, you love the taste of fine wine. Where would you be right now in Italy, and what kind of wine would you be drinking?
Where would I be right now? I'd be in northern Italy.
Northern Italy.
Yes, drinking Amarone wine. Amarone.
Now, northern Italy, the gravy is a little deeper red, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And so is the wine.
So is the wine.
Yeah, the wine is heavier.
Do you like the homemade wine?
I like anything.
Okay. I am admiring your scarf. Is that from Italy?
That's from Italy. This is from on the Adriatic I was when I got this.
Really?
Right, a nice little town, right on the water. Beautiful.
Okay. So besides being a great musician, do you take people to Italy with yourself?
I did.
Do you have any travel?
I did bring some people,
Okay.
but they didn't drink enough.
They didn't drink
yeah, so I couldn't.
They sure ate
know.
enough, I bet.
No, they ate enough. Yeah. So
Okay.
it was tough.
Well, Jimmy, you've been a wonderful guest. Keep rocking and rolling. Keep playing that great Italian music, the Irish. That's some kind of combination you got there. But keep playing the Italian, Irish music, and congratulations on a great career. And we mentioned all those great names. So
Dennis, thank you.
So thank you so very much. And I got to tell you, well, that's all the time we have for another edition of This is Rock and Roll. Thank you to our guest, Jimmy Fracassi. And thank you to Bronx Net Community TV. Thank you to you out there watching. And thank you to our producer, Vic Sabatini, associate producers, Al Balfieri, Tyrone Burkle. And thank you to the beautiful announcer, Mary. This is Dennis Dion Nardone. Tune into my music oldie radio show Saturday and Sunday morning on WVOX 1460 AM. Go to my website for more information, clubdennis911.net. Just Nuts Music School. If you want to learn an instrument, you want to learn how to sing, you want to send your child to learn an instrument, Just Nuts Music School on Tremont Avenue. So with that, God bless you. God bless the USA. Have a good night and see you next time on This is Rock and Roll.
I can't answer the phone right now. Leave me a message and I'll call you back.
I know she's out there, I know it's true. She's probably dancing and feeling good. She's probably drinking, she must be flirting. She's got me worried, and that's no good. No, 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 the city girl took the chance with the BX girl. No, 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 the city girl took the chance with the BX girl. This girl is hot, this girl is fine, this girl is tougher than the ones I left behind. This girl is wild, she's really loud. When the party starts, you know she'll be around. No, 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 the city girl took the chance with the BX girl. No, 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 the city girl took the chance with the BX girl. She pulls her car up, opens up the door. She's still a lady, and that's for sure. Her clothes are tight, she looks so right. If the guys are looking, there'll be a fight. No, 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 the city girl took the chance with the BX girl. No, 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 the city girl took the chance with the BX girl.
I see what you're doing out there. I see those moves you're making. I'm here to let you know, baby, cause I'm the one. So my name is Vic and I'm really slick. And I pose my realest and I do them really quick. When I'm on the job, putting on the show, cause I'm looking mold out like another Rambo.
Hey Al, I got an idea.